walked in, even myself, has walked into a school and not been treated kindly and as an equal partner. So one of our jobs is working with the schools, working with this, we actually have met with the school administrative assistants, working with the parent center directors to help ensure that a welcoming environment exists. We actually will even have situations in which the parent centers themselves are not welcoming environments. So we need to assist with that as well. Our second goal is to help the parents provide opportunities so they can work with the education of their children at home. The third is to actually help the schools implement or enhance their volunteer program. The fourth is kind of a joint effort with ourselves, the instruction team, as well as the operations team, and that is responding to parent concerns or complaints that come up on an hourly basis, minutely basis. And finally, what actually funds us is Title I. We're funded by Title I, EL, Special Ed. We're very multi-funded in our unit. And therefore, we have to be making sure that we, as well as all of our schools, are complying with all of the state, LAUSD, federal requirements that focus around parental involvement, specifically Title I. Title I has a very specific Title I parent involvement component to it. That takes me to talking a little bit about what we've done so far this year. With the reconfiguration of the district, this has been a really big learning year for all of us. And learning what our role is, learning how we can assist with the parent center directors. Oh my goodness. You want to come up here and hang with me? Okay. She just didn't want to hang on Mom's lap. It's all good.
All I need to give her a cookie.
So one of the biggest things that my four parent coaches, as well as the other parent coaches throughout the district, have been working on is different toolkits for the schools. So that our biggest toolkit we've worked on right now is for what's called the EL Parent Academy, the English Learner Parent Academy. And so we offered that twice so far. We offered it on Saturday, May 4th, and we offered it again on Wednesday, May 29th, I believe it was. And we invited all EL or ELAC, as English Learner Advisory Council presidents, or chairpeople or a representative to come and learn about the English Learner Program. With our new master plan that's in the district, it's really important that that word starts to get out to our parents. And so that was just the beginning, because they just finished that toolkit. And we wanted to make sure that we're starting to get that information out about the EL master plan that the district has. But also mention Common Core. That's another toolkit that we're currently working on, because as parents of our generation, other generations, we're not going to be used to the homework that's coming home from our kids. And we need to help parents, all socioeconomic levels, to understand what is going on with this new homework. Why is my kid bringing this home? Why does it look like my kid is not doing any work? Well, it's not drill and kill. It's not assignment. It's not, go home and open your math book and do numbers 1 through 15. It's go home and here are 3 problems and you need to work them out and explain it. And it's going to look different. So we will have this Common Core toolkit as well. Some of the other things that we've helped along the way with are helping with the ELAC, English Learner Advisory Council, and School Site Council orientations and elections with the schools. We have a lot of our schools now who unfortunately don't have a Title I or EL coordinators, so the principal is it at the elementary schools. So we really try and go in and support as much as we possibly can. That's really what kind of takes up our time at the beginning of the year. Additionally, just turn this on, I have my notes in front of me. We've also, 2 of my coaches have an MSW background, a Master's in Social Work background, and the other 2 have a classroom teacher background. So it's a really nice rounded group of people that I have. And my 2 MSWs did a lot with the modified consent decree this year for the special ed parents. And so they will be working a great deal on that next year. They also presented to the CEAC, which is the Community Advisory Council, and that's for parents of students who have individualized education plans or IEPs. And so we're trying to educate parents about what's happening in the district and about the rights for their children. Because we have the parents' Bill of Rights and Responsibilities that exist in the district, and we're trying to get that information out as well. The fact that our unit even exists really speaks volumes to Dr. Dacey about this comprehension of the importance of parent involvement in education. Because as it shows at the top of this sheet, all of the studies that have been done over time that show why parent involvement is so important and that it does actually help to increase. We will also be doing toolkits on the A through G requirements, which is the required courses that are in high school that allow for a student to become eligible for a UC or a California State University. Without those courses, they are not eligible to even apply to go into one of those types of schools. One of our other big items that we worked on this year was our Parents as Equal Partners in Title I study groups. At the beginning of the year, we got parents together and helped to rewrite the Title I involvement policy for the district. So you have your school level Title I policy, and then you have your district level Title I policy. So there were throughout the district, we had, I think, 96 to 100 parents at all the ESCs, and we got together and got input from all of these parents. It was a wonderful thing because it was authentic, and it was parents who came in and gave us their input and their feedback. We took it back, we wrote a plan, it came back, we showed them the plan, we said, is this what you were trying to say? And they made changes from that as well. So it was really authentic, it was really exciting. And now that that exists, we now have something called our Parents as Equal Partners study groups. And we're going to be combining the parents with principals and teachers and different coordinators. And we're going to be taking walks through the schools and actually selecting a few schools to go find best practices. What's going on at these schools? And how can we help other schools that are having difficulties and really get parent involvement coming into all of our schools. Also, I mentioned federal requirements. We have something called federal program monitoring that takes place every year. And ESC West had 2 schools this year that went through this federal program monitoring. So they go through and they look at all of their EL documents, all of their Title I documents, their single plan for student achievement document, and they go through, it's a weeks-long process, and so myself and my coaches were in there assisting the schools to make sure that they were all ready for that. And our schools passed with flying colors, I do have to say. We also have been working on a program called Abriendo Puertas, which in English means opening doors. It's a parent training course. One of my coaches, dear to her heart, is McAllister High School, which is one of our high schools that has pregnant mothers who are in classes. And so she decided to think outside of the box, and some of my other coaches were training parents at different schools in the parent centers. She decided, why don't I train these young ladies who are in high school still on parenting skills? They're going to become parents. They're already out to hear a few of them. And so I thought that was ingenious. So it was kind of crossing the line with teaching students and parents about parenting. It was wonderful. And they just really, really appreciated it. She was one of our MSWs, so I'm really proud of her for doing that.
Yeah, it's a wonderful school. I had a chance to study there a number of years ago. It's got a wonderful thing.
It's actually, when I was in college, I got to work at a school like that too. It was kind of neat to see it still going on. We have a program called Steps to Success, which is another parenting program that we go out to. We have how to help your child with homework, professional development for parents. We have how to talk to your parent, how to talk to your teacher to get information you need in parent conferences. We'll be doing something on how to read the school report card. So we're trying to come up with tools to help parents. We ourselves can do that, the parent training, but we really need to be incorporating parents and the directors and the school staff, because there are so many parents in the district that 5 of us can't get it all done. So it is actually building the capacity of others so that we can all work together. And we want to make the parents, help people understand what parents as equal partners looks like, that they are equal partners. They're not somebody you just want to brush off to the side and say, no, you know, I know what I'm doing, you don't know what you're doing.
What would help us is if, can you give us a list of the schools and the parent center?
Well, what I can tell you is better than that is I can tell you that the way that we're organized is Each ESC has its different complexes. So you have your Venice complex, your University High complex, your Hamilton High complex, your Hollywood complex, etc. So this is, of course, the Venice complex. And the Venice complex has an operations coordinator attached to it. Cynthia Jackson is the operations coordinator. And so what I went ahead and did is I assigned my coaches based on complex as well. So the Venice complex has one coach.
Oh, good.
And I have a card with me.
Oh, and
Excellent!
that's Cynthia Jackson?
No, her name is Marcel Brito.
Oh.
She is fantastic. And being wed también, she also speaks Spanish. So she is the parent educator coach for the Venice Family Schools. She's fantastic. She's one of my coaches with an MSW background. And she has been instrumental in Broadway Elementary. I can just pass these out. I'll call her mother.
Excellent.
I have,
You probably have the number memorized,
Yeah.
I'm sure.
I have it right here.
But she's been instrumental in working with the parents as we go through the struggles that we are at Broadway Elementary, with Marina Del Rey, now with Playa Vista and the incubator school that's going in there. We want the parents to know that we exist and that we're there to support. You know, we also work for the district, we have to remember that, but that we want to give as much information as possible and have parents feel like there's someone that they can call. Because there's so much bureaucracy. And I know that with all the situation going on over at Broadway, there's been a lot of frustration. And it feels like a lot of secrets are being kept. And we're there to help parents understand. It's not that secrets are being kept, it's that minds are being changed daily. And there's stuff that you guys know before we know. So we're new and we want to become a part of the different communities. And I think we're doing a pretty good job. We're getting ourselves out there and well known. And next year we're going to do a lot more with the special ed, a lot more with the EL, a lot more with the Common Core. And I'm sure I've got a lot more that's just not coming in my head right now. So we're here and really excited to be existent because of the importance of parents.
We wanted you to know that we're here.
I'm glad to know that you're here.
I'm glad you took your time to come
Our
out.
questions, please.
And we'll take some questions now.
I-
First, I'll start with you.
Thank you for coming.
Sure.
It was a nice surprise. And I'm off to the Southern meeting. By chance, if I don't make it back, but I would really like to put on the agenda to possibly put our education meetings on Wednesdays, because it seems that we have ENC, 2 other meetings. It's just not conducive to being unified in our voice. And I'm sure other people would have benefited from this particular presentation. And thank you for coming.
Well, if you'd like for me to come back at the beginning of the school year, and hopefully I can bring Marcel, since she's actually your parent coach.
I'd like to put that on the agenda.
You're talking about changing
Changing
the
the
methods.
Wednesdays.
Let me tell you why I
Or
picked
Wednesdays.
Tuesdays. When I became the chair, it had always been on Tuesdays. I'm not this
Yeah.
time. If the board wants to do that.
Right, I think we should open it for discussion because the
Okay.
other people aren't respecting.
What other ENC?
There's the Inspector General's meeting with, there's another
Ellis.
forum, there's a forum meeting with BNC as well.
Oh,
It's 2 meetings. Yeah, so I apologize, thank you.
Thank you.
And,
Thank you.
good things are happening in that Venice. Our KC went up by 5%. It only means that our CSTs went up as well, so we're waiting for that.
Good.
Questions?
Go ahead.
Okay. Sarah,
Yes, sir.
when we first started the meetings, one of the things that was put onto the agenda was CEAC and PPAC and DAC, and why were these groups abolished, not allowing parents to have any kind of governance whatsoever? I have here even though there are no agendas tonight, I do have a copy of the agenda from April 9th, 2013. Item 7D says CEAC update. Bud promised us he would bring you to this congregation to answer our questions. That's all we ask.
Okay, well, that's not
Let
what
me
we're
clarify
for
first.
tonight.
I didn't promise to bring her. I had a conference with Maria Cassillas.
Why would Maria Cassillas?
And I shared that.
What is Maria Cassillas' job?
And so
What
that
is
wasn't why
Maria
she's
Cassillas'
here.
job?